Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching my channel, welcome. You may have clicked on this because you saw the title and you thought, what's it like to go to community college? Maybe you're a recent high school graduate who is considering community college. Maybe you didn't get into any of the colleges you applied to. Maybe you can't afford to go to a four-year university straight out of high school. Maybe you're a returning student, not a traditional student coming straight from high school. Whatever the situation is, I'm hoping that by sharing my personal experience going to community college, it will help you kind of get some insight about what exactly it's all about, because I think there are a lot of misconceptions about what it means to go to community college, what it means to be a community college student, and what it means to transfer. So to just jump into the story, basically to help you understand it fully, I'm going to take it all the way back to high school. My whole life I went to private school. For high school, I went to a private all-girls college preparatory. So there was a lot of focus placed on academics, on your performance, on being involved in the community, being involved in athletics, leadership, all that kind of stuff. And the situation for me was that I was really excited to go to school here. But things didn't really go exactly as I had planned because I was super, super shy. And I'm still shy, but I mean, I was like cripplingly shy. Like I couldn't even look people in the eye shy. Like I had so much social anxiety. I had such a hard time maintaining conversations with people. So it was really hard for me to make friends. And because of that, I had zero friends. I would literally like sit every day in the library at lunchtime. Instead of eating lunch, I would just like go on my phone, go on my laptop, do homework, basically avoid all other people. And because of that, I fell into a really bad place in my life. I was really depressed. My parents were really concerned about me. I kind of would just come home from school, go straight to sleep until it was time to get up the next day for school. And my grades took a hit during that time period. I started out with like A's in the first semester, and then basically from my freshman year, first semester, until my second semester, my junior year, I was just not even there. Like I was there, I was present in school, but I was not like here, I was not there. And I think my GPA was like a 2.4. It was really, really, really bad. I did not care. I didn't put in any effort. Like any effort that I put in was minimal. So that really is one of the main reasons that I did not go to a four-year university straight out of high school, because when it came time to apply to university, my transcript was not competitive enough. It was pretty bad. It was terrible. In fact, I mean, a 2.4 compared to some of my classmates had like a 4.4. And they did this extracurricular, and they did this, and they did that, and they knew brain surgery, and they were a rocket scientist, blah, blah, blah. So I just could not even compete with those people. And I was denied from every single school that I applied to. And that really hurt, because by the time that I had actually sent in my applications, I was really like back into it. I had gotten a job, so I kind of started to pick myself up again. I was doing really well in school. I had all A's. All A's. I was like so excited to go to college. I wanted to go to college, and then it just wasn't happening for me. And it was really hard coming from a private school to be like one of the handful of students who was going to a community college, which is like a lot of people consider it a waste of time, because I think for a lot of people it is a waste of time. A lot of students who don't put in any effort go there and then drop out or whatever. I was so embarrassed about it. I didn't want to tell anybody that I was going to community college. When people would ask me about it, and when I would tell them, like, I could literally see the disappointment in their face. It was so embarrassing. And that's when I decided that this wasn't going to be the last chance for me. There had to be another way to get to UC. So after accepting the fact that I had been denied from every single school that I applied to, didn't really matter anyway because I couldn't afford it, I decided to enroll at West Valley College, which is one of the local community colleges in my area. I think I've said this before, I live in San Jose, California, which is part of the San Francisco Bay Area. And I don't even remember much about the orientation. I think they did like a little speech about how like, oh, this is West Valley, like welcome to West Valley. And then you had to have a meeting with a counselor. And I told the counselor, this is what I want to do. At the time, I wanted to major in geology. Don't know why I wanted to major in geology, because I'm really bad at math and I'm really bad at science. And I told her that I wanted to go to a UC, like ideally UCLA or UC Berkeley. Her exact words to me were, don't bother applying to UCLA or to Berkeley, you won't get in. but I wasn't gonna let that deter me from even applying to the schools. That kind of encouraged me a little bit more because it made me realize that I was in this alone. I graduated high school in 2015, and summer of 2015 is when I started taking classes at West Valley. So that summer I took the math requirement that I had to take. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like pre-calc or something like that. I'm really bad at math, so it was one of the lower level maths. And I took English 1A, which is your basic English. And I did really well in those classes. Like, I worked really hard, I got A's. And then the next semester, I took English 1B, chemistry. This is where things get a little. I took chemistry. I think I took calculus. And what was the other one? Oh, I took an online class. I took sociology. So I started off taking those 4 classes, and yeah, I dropped out of chemistry and the math class that I was taking, which was calculus, and you know what? It's just not for me. That's what really made me realize, because I walked into chemistry, I think it was like the second or third day of class, and she was already lecturing, like she was going off, she was going all in on the information, and I just did not understand what she was saying at all. I literally started crying and I had to leave the class because I couldn't understand what was going on. So that was the end of my geology major days. I decided to change things up. I didn't know what to do going forward, but I knew that I had to get through the general education. So I dropped out of those 2 classes. So then at that point I was taking English and what did I say? Sociology. And then I picked up another late start class, which started later in the semester. And I think it was like art or something like that, art appreciation. And I got all A's in those classes. And my school was on semester system, and I took classes every semester and every winter and summer term. So you're not required to take classes in the winter and summer term to be considered full-time, but I did because I just wanted to get in and get out. Winter, I took geography, and I think I got like a B+. It was really boring. The teacher was so boring. And then spring 2016 is when things started to get a little bit crazy. So I took econ and geography too, and those classes were terrible. And so because I wasn't really interested in my classes, I wasn't really paying attention in school. So basically I started to care less about school and more about like my social life. I was partying every weekend, drinking every weekend, staying out till like 6 a.m. every weekend, and I could not focus on school. I was just so over it. I was so focused on like having fun, and I was just being a really irresponsible student basically. And then when I got my final grades for that semester, I was mortified. I passed, but I had like a really low C. And for econ, there's a lecture and there's a lab, which is the online component. So it was 2 C's on my transcript, not just 1. And I also got like a really low B in geography that semester. So my GPA dropped way, way, way below what it was supposed to be. The interesting thing about that though is that semester is also the same semester that I got invited to be part of the honors program because of my outstanding academic performance. So once I got that notification combined with my terrible grades, I was like, all right, sis, like it's time. So I really turned things around that semester. Summer 2016, I took anthropology in the summer term, and I did really well in it. Anthropology was actually my major for a while, and that's what led me to my current major, which is linguistics. So I did really well in it. That's when things started to turn around. From there, basically, I was doing really well. I got all A's. I did end up taking 3 years in community college rather than the regular 2 for multiple reasons. Number 1, because I really wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to transfer to a UC. I wasn't ready academically. I wasn't ready personally to leave home. Like, I love my family. I love my friends. I love the Bay Area. And I couldn't see myself leaving. And I'm really glad that I took 3 years, actually. I felt kind of bad about it at first because I'm like, I'm taking so long. I'm going to be like such a stereotypical community college kid who like can't graduate. But I'm really glad that I did because it gave me so many more opportunities that I would have had if I would have tried to do it in 2 years because my GPA went way up. I think my GPA now is like a 3.7, and fall 2017 is when I applied to UC. I want to say that I started working on the application in the summer. So that's when I started writing my essays. I started working on those, got those finished way before September 1st, which is when the application opens. So that summer I finished my essays, and I also participated in the Berkeley Summer Experience. Basically, it's kind of like this little immersion trip at UC Berkeley. You get to stay in the dorms, and they give you tips on your application. They expose you to life at Berkeley and at a UC. You stay in the dorms, you eat the food, the whole enchilada. And that was a really good experience because it kind of gave me an idea of who my classmates were and who my competitors were and what it would be like to live there, even though it was kind of different because it was during the summer, so you're not really getting a feel of like what it's like during a bustling semester, but still you get an idea. And I got a lot of really good tips during that little trip. So if you have access to something like that close to you, I would highly recommend doing that. There were students at Berkeley Summer Experience who were from LA and different parts of Southern California and different parts of Northern California. And not that many people take advantage of it. You do have to apply and you do have to be accepted to the program. But it was a really good experience. I think it definitely helped me improve my application a lot and make it way more competitive. So I did that. I applied to a transfer admission guarantee for UC Davis. Transfer admission guarantees are offered for community college students from participating colleges. You get to choose from UC Davis, UC Santa Barbara, Riverside, Irvine, Merced. There's probably another one, but I'm forgetting it. The schools that don't participate in that would be the more competitive schools, so UCLA, Berkeley, San Diego. Probably forgetting one once again. But it's kind of nice because you just have to maintain a certain GPA and promise that you will take these classes that you list on the form in the next semester, and you're guaranteed admission. So it was nice to know that I was going to college. Like, without any question, there's a space for me next year to pursue higher education. So that was a big comforting fact for me. And then I applied, I don't even remember when the tag was due. I want to say like September 15th. And then the tag was accepted in December. November 1st is when you can start submitting the application. I submitted my application on the 3rd, and the first acceptance that I got was from UC Santa Barbara, and that was in March. It was really early. That was pretty unexpected, but I was super excited because that was just really encouraging. That made me feel like, okay, maybe there's like a possibility that I'll get into UCLA or Berkeley or even San Diego, because those are pretty competitive schools as well. And then the second acceptance I filmed for you guys, so check out the video. I will put the link somewhere here in this video to the college decision reaction video. In that video, I react to my UCLA acceptance, San Diego, and Berkeley, so you can kind of see exactly what happens there. But I was so happy to be accepted to UCLA because it gave me hope that I would get into Berkeley, and Berkeley was my #1 school, as I've said in other videos. So then I got the Berkeley acceptance. You can view my reaction in that other video. I was really taken aback by the fact that I was accepted for the spring term and not for the fall. And after careful deliberation, I decided to go to UCLA, and that pretty much brings us up to the present day. I went from being rejected in high school from every single school that I applied to being accepted in community college to every single school I applied to. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what it's like to be a community college student. If you have more specific questions, if there are certain things that you want to know about, just let me know down below in the comments. Or, you can even request, if I get enough requests from enough people, maybe I'll make a video, a little Q&A, whatever. But it's a pretty unique experience. I think it's different for everybody. I am ultimately very happy with my choice to go to community college. I think it's offered me so much more than I would have even been capable of if I would have went to community college, if I would have went to four-year university out of high school. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.